Greetings, Internet. Welcome to our plays, and I hope you're doing fantastically well. This is me continuing the 16th of December Enemy Action Ardennes, the Battle of the Bulge. The first video for the day concluded the third German impulse, and we're about to start now with my fourth impulse. So, I got a bit battered last time. So, if you saw it earlier in the day, yeah, I got battered. So, let's see what continues. Let's go down to the map. If you didn't watch the earlier video, the episode 1 of this playthrough, I'd advise you to do so because I'm not going to go through detail what's happened. Bring to say though, I'm getting my butt kicked a lot more than I did in my learning game. The Germans have been ruthless. So what am I going to do now? I've got 3 cards. Okay, let's just bring those up. Oh, that's my hand. I've got 3 cards that I can use. And what did I do last impulse? Now, that's a good question. I'm going to have to remember. I activated the 5th core. So as none of those cards are 5th core, I can't activate 5th core. What can I do? Bring in some reinforcements, no command, or, well, I think I need some units on the board. So I'm going to use this one here to bring in deploy all core reserves. Okay. I have got 2 units of 8th core. Let's just close that down. 2 units of 8th core, which are these 2 armored units. And notice they have got little S next to them. They can be brought in as strategical reserves. I don't have to bring them in. Might as well get rid of that one. So let's delete that one. Send to discard stack. Right, there we go. So I'm bringing these 2 units in. And as they're strategical reserves, I'm not restricted that they have to come in this area next to that unit. So last game I brought them in at Bastogne. They must come at the same place. They can't, if I'm bringing them in strategical reserves, they can't be brought in adjacent to or within actually 5 hexes of a German unit. So I can't bring them into Buffalo here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I am going to bring them into Bastogne, I think. I could bring them into Stablo. And they are a little bit. I think they've still got to follow the core area, and the 8th core goes all the way up to this line here, which, yeah, Stablo is, well, we'll bring them to La Rochelle. I think Bastogne, then I can take them from further from there. They've got to be brought in the same hex. They've been brought in as reserves, and that's it. That is my third activation. So I have played the 8th core. Activate 2 the reserves. They've been brought in. And I then draw my final card, which I've been using a couple of times now as a core artillery, and not once has actually been useful. So allied card display, bring that through to here. It's the last card, flip it, or set it to the cards. Okay, allied command card display. Oh, just done that with you, donut. Okay, and then in he comes there, and it's that artillery. So I can still use him as the artillery if necessary. He might actually become useful at some point. So I'm down to 3 cards. The Germans are down to 4. They are the keepers of the game in the sense that if the Germans have got no cards, the turn will end no matter what I've got. So, okay. Now let's bring up the German card deck to see what they are going to do. We've got 2 cards. One's got a 1 on it, one's got a 3, so that will be the command card. This one will be the support card. Is there a No, there's not a command event on that card, so it stays there. We now look at this one. It's 5th Panzer Army. Okay. Card 45. Yeah, I'm bringing up the real cards in my hand because I just find it easy. I mean, I can read those, no problem. I assume you can read them, hopefully, no problem. But I do like having the cards because it makes me focus on what's going on there. So it's the XLV11 core. So that's one before that's 50, becomes 40, 45, 47th core in the 5th Panzer Army. Okay, 47th core in the See, I can close that down. You've seen it now. I can still keep looking at the card because I'm greedy. Okay, so that looks, oh, it's another big lot. Look at them all. Okay. Deploy all core reserves. No. Assign to no. Activate all units in the core. Oh dear. That's 5th Panzer Army. Okay, so going through the German activation sequence, remove roadblock markers adjacent to active German units. There are none adjacent to active German units. Okay, relocate army objective marker. It's too far away. Okay, so that's not going to move. And now we go through the move procedures for all these bad boys. Okay, and then that's where we go through the mythology thing again. So let's see what happens. Right, so going through these, the first one is cause surround, and this is done in descending order. This unit here can actually surround this unit if he goes 1, 2 to there. So this unit is now surrounded because there's a zone of control here, zone of control here from this unit, and obviously zone of control here. So causing surround has worked for that unit. And it's, as I say, that's done in descending order. So no other unit is required because that unit is now surrounded. Okay, so the next unit is using movement method 6, and this is done in descending order. So unit 14 will do it first, which is move to an empty town. Move to allied town. Clevo is an allied town. 1, 2, 3 is now occupied. Okay, so that means unit 13, that is now no longer an empty town. Okay, so we're now into movement methods 10 to 13, where we go through each unit one at a time and starting with the lowest numbered unit. So we're ascending. So the lowest numbered unit is this 02. And it says follow movement arrows. Move if able to spend full movement allowance following arrows with preference given to primary arrows. Avoid ending move adjacent to allied unit if possible. Okay, so this unit could move there, but they would have to stop because of the roadblock. And it says move if able to spend full movement allowance, where you can follow, okay, with preference to primary arrows. It doesn't say you can't follow his secondary arrow. So that's 1. And then the preference from there is the primary arrow, 2. Then the preference from there is the primary arrow, 3. Okay, so where's he at the present moment? There. Now, moving to here would stop his move. He's only moved 3 so far. So using the secondary arrow, 4, he's avoiding the roadblock, and then he's back on to following the primary, spending all his movement, 5. Is that correct? Let me know in the comments. Not sure, but that's what it seems to imply. So that's unit 2. Next one, unit up, we have unit 3. And again, he'll follow the same methodology. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, he can go his full movement allowance. Remember, this guy here has no zone of control. That's why they can ignore him in that regard, because he's dispersed. So he could go there for 5. And that's following the primary arrow, and that uses his full movement allotment. Okay, so that's unit 3. Then it's unit 4, which is part of Panzer Lehr. I think let's have a look at the primary arrow is going there for 1, 2, and then it's following the same route again. 3, 4. 5. Now, move if possible to spend with preference given to avoid ending move adjacent to allied unit if possible. That's a good point. Adjacent to allied unit if possible. So he would have gone down that way there, wouldn't he? And he would end. Well, he's not going to go his full movement. That's a good point. He's gone full movement to there. He could go. So let me see how fast he moved. He was there. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, he can't go his full movement allotment because he'll end adjacent to that unit there. All right, let's just take him back then. Is there any other options? He'll use option 11, which gets him into that hex, which with that unit plus that unit would be a 3-to-1 on that unit, which is allowed. That's 4. Unit 6 would do the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring up the strength to that attack. Unit 6, 7, 8. This one then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can use method 10 to get to there. Okay. Unit 10 is this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like there's going to be an attack coming in on that disrupted unit. Dispersed unit. Unit 13 hasn't moved. Now that's an infantry unit. Following if able to follow full movement layouts, following arrows. So the arrow from that hex is that way. So he can go 1, ideally 2, and then 3. Because they want to move full movement layouts, not ending adjacent to an enemy unit. There we go. And that just leaves this panzer unit. Okay, so moving into a woods for a panzer is 3. Oh, it's quite heavy, isn't it? 3. Follow the arrow. Still 3. 4, 5. Okay. Right, I think that's everybody moved. Yes, we've got to do an attack check in ascending order. So it's from this hex into there. So these are the active units. We have 4, 8, 11 to 2. Okay, and that's in a broken hex. 11 to 2 is 5-to-1. Not in a forest. Dispersed drops his marker down. So this is a highly likely attack. Actually, if attack is greater than 4-to-1 or full defending unit is isolated, you don't need to roll the dice. So that attack is definitely going in. Right. So the German attack card for this activation is Combat Engineers. Combat Engineers. Attacker, add 1 to the attacker's combat strength. In addition, remove any IP markers, and the allies can't play any IP markers. The only thing I could really play to help that is that core artillery again. And then return it to the draw pile. Okay. You never know. Might get lucky. So we will use the core artillery. We will return to the draw pile. That only gives me two card options for next time. But first of all, actually, I should have drawn an extra card for the Germans. There's a German card display, which says reinforced battle. Oh, it's got a date restriction on the 18th to the 29th. Okay. So that card isn't used, but I think it still goes to the discard pile. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, so we've got the odds of 4, 8, 9, 10, 11 to 2. 5 to 1. Yeah, it's 2. 5-to-1. Okay, so I need to bring up the combat chits. Where are the combat chits? There they are. Right, so all these were used. I know. Could have done this off camera. Right, so it's 5-1 odds. I got some artillery, and they got combat engineers. So is it 5-1? 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 6-1. Yeah, 6-1 odds in broken ground. Not looking good. All right. Dispersed and unsupplied. Defender days there. They are dispersed and unsupplied, so that's 1. I haven't actually worked out how many chits. Oh. Right, there's 3 units attacking. Okay. Oops. Oops. Okay, for each combat tactic played by the attacker, 1. So that's how many? There's 3, so it becomes 4. For each attacking unit, include 1 or more elite. Are any of them elite? No, so it's still 4. For each attacking unit with 3 or 4 steps, none of them. Okay, if the defender is out of supply, no. Isolated, no. So it's only, that's not many chits, is it? Maximum chit draw. Number of attacking units with non-bracketed combat strength is 3. For each combat tactic played by the attacker, which is 1, that's 4. If the attacking units include 1 or no, if attacking 4 steps, no. So they're only drawing 4 steps, 4 chits. That's not great. Okay. Second chit. City or town? No. Let's flip that over. Forest, woodlands or broken? It is. Okay, so that's 2. 3. Flip. All right. Okay. So the attack odds were 6-1, 4, 5. Coming up over. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11 plus the engineers 12-2. So that does price. So and then the last chip, it is equal or greater than 4-1. Just check the other side. Less than 4. It's not. Equal or greater than 4-1. Right. Okay. So the defender is taking 2, 4, 5, 4-step losses. They cannot sustain that. That is a unit that is toast. Right. Let's remove that. The Germans are taking 1 minus 1. No losses at all. Right. Let's just move those to the side. Okay. So that was a successful assault. So they definitely advance into that hex. First of all, will be and another hex as well. So he will go. He's the lowest number. He's the lead unit. So he goes into there. All right, and then where does he advance after that? Okay, follows the primary route, which is there. Ah, wait a minute. I've got to determine if the other units move advance. Okay, so it's number 6. Yes, he does. And the other guy doesn't. Because there's 2 units in there already. Actually, I'm not quite sure what the order is, because he will go to there. And then he might go there on a 1-6. No, so he doesn't advance. So that's actually them done then. Because he couldn't advance into there. What does he test now? You see, I'm not quite sure the sequence on those testings for advance. Do they all test for the first text and then test for the second? Or do they do 1 unit at a time, i.e. the 2 hexes? Because that doesn't look logical to me. But again, let me know in the comments. So, any other attack? Well, there's a potential from here to here. It's not likely. It's 3-3. So it's 1-1. He's in a town. Is that going to boost him up at all? Attack check in forest and improved. Adjacent to a supplied allied unit, no. Clear terrain, no. Unsupplied or dispersed, no. So it's a 1-1. So it says if cancel attack if less than 1-1, If greater than 1 to 1, you roll the dice. It's December 16th. Great. It's -1. And the supporting card is gone. So needs low. I think it's a 10. No. They decide, no, well, got them surrounded. We don't need to attack. So that concludes that actual impulse. And the support card. Let me bring up the German cards. There we go. Right, so gone and gone. So question there is the actual combat card that wasn't used, did that count? Because it wasn't applicable, was it? I don't remember which one it was now. Hold on, that was the card 63, which has a date restriction on it. Is that discarded or saved? We will see. Right, okay, so remove move markers. Back to me, and I've only got a choice of 2 cards. Let me bring up my allied hand, because again we used this card, which will go into a draw pile effectively. So I've only got 2 cards. One that says no command, which basically allows me to bring some more engineers, or I've got 4th Infantry Division, which allows me to move some units. Okay, so of the 2 cards, I'm going to actually play the no commands card, which has got engineers on it again, because these 2 roadblocks are going to disappear the next time these guys activate. So I need to create some more roadblocks effectively. So I'm going to clone these and build. Got to be adjacent. It's got to be on a road. Clone. We don't want them getting too close to Hoofenlau. So I think that's probably the best. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's that done. So send to place card in the supplemental discard. Now back to the Germans. So I now have 2 cards again, which is that core card, but the Germans have only got 1. So I'm still not 100% certain I did correct on that combat card, tactics card last time, because it had a date restriction on it, but they've only got 1, which is now the command card, which is another 5th Panzer, which is the XLV-11 core. It's a divisional, so it's the 26th VG Division and the Führerbegalt Brigade. Okay, and the first thing that's on there is activate those divisions. Right, let's have a look what we're looking at. I think it is the same boys that have just been nasty to me a few moments ago. Right, okay. So going through the sequence, remove roadblocks adjacent to the active German units. So the active German units are the 26th VG Division and the Führerbegalt Brigade, but that's not on the board yet. In the demo game I searched for high and low and found it comes on the 18th. So it's only the 26th Infantry Division that's activated. Well, they clear that roadblock. So that was fortuitous that I placed that one, wasn't it? That one's not clear because that's a layer. Leah. Did I say layer? Leah. So that doesn't clear that. So that's gone. Relocate the army marker. And again, it's from active units. It's only this, and this that's active. So none of those are close enough to move the 5th Panzer Army marker. So that's done. And now we move those 3 units. Going through the movement methods. For using movement method 7, this moves adjacent to an allied town. 1, as close as possible. So going through the forest is for infantry Price for all the cards is 2. So it's 1, 2, 3. Moving adjacent to an allied town. And then this guy can, to which no non-bracketed German infantry. So he's now stopping him doing that. Can he move adjacent to an allied town? He can go 1, 2, 3. So the answer to the question is yes. This guy here won't actually move because he's creating that surround situation. The question is, will he attack? It's a 1-to-1 attack. He's really low on the dice. 5. I don't think he's low enough. I'll double check. Less than 2-to-1 or only defender elite? No. Cancel attack if less than 2-to-1. It is less than 2-to-1. So there's no actual attack there. That concludes the actual German impulse. Brings it back to me. I get 1 extra impulse and I've got 2 cards. Let's bring up what 2 cards I've got. Well, I've got it ready to go. No, allied hand. Right. These 2 cards here. 5th Corps or 12th Corps. 4th Infantry Division allows me to activate 3 units or deploy any reserves. Do I have any reserves in the unit box? I have 2 units of the 4th Infantry Division, but they would need to be brought on quite close to where, well, they've got to be there close. Yeah, they're brought in as reserves, not strategical reserves. So I could bring them in down here, which could be useful. The other one, the 5th Corps, 5th Corps, which I've been using as the artillery bad boy. Okay, so I'm going to play this card here, one that I've been using for the artillery reserve. I'm going to use it to bring in the last remaining, well, the only remaining unit box here. So it's an allied reserve unit. He's got to be placed within 3, not within 3 hexes of a German unit. So I was hoping to place him there, but unfortunately, not within or within 3. Hold on. It's the wording, guys. It's the wording. It's the wording, as I just said. So it's got to be at least 3 hexes away from the nearest German unit. So the nearest German unit is there or there. That's this one, isn't it? 1, 2, 3. So I can place him in this town. Malmedy. Oh, that sounds a bit ominous, doesn't it? But there we go. So that's that card. And that ends, even though I've still got 1 card left, that ends my turn, effectively. So next up, we've got the end of turn sequence. I can find the actual card. So end of day phase. Right, check the victory conditions. Well, the Germans have gained 6 VP. So if I was still playing the introductory scenario, I'd have lost. Discard your hand and draw a pile. So I've still got 1 card that is now sent to, okay, I'll just send to allied draw pile. There we go. Return combat chits to the cup. So not one of them came up with the blue chit. So combat chits. So these are all turn all to the cup. Okay, that's quite easy. Remove all dispersed and out of fuel markers from the map. All right, so we have, is there a remove dispersed, or have I got to search for these? Okay, that's gone. Anybody else dispersed of Migan? I don't think there's any German dispersed, so I think they've pretty much been, when they've been dispersed, they've been taken out. Apart from, say, that 1 hex. Okay. Check detachment markers for removal. There hasn't been any detachments placed so far. Advanced day marker on the calendar. Start a new day. Woohoo! Having a look at the calendar, there we go. They got the 6 VP. That was basically 4 for let's just double check. So you've got 4 for moving the counters, 2 for Aidenburn, and 2 for St. Vith. That's 4. And then there's 4 allied units being taken out. It's 1 for every 2. So that's the 6 VP that they generated. That is a big bulge begin to form. Strange that, isn't it? So yeah, let me just zoom out a little bit so you can see the whole front. So there's the bulge. Got a couple of allied units looking like they're going to be out of supply, which we'll have to work out at the beginning of next turn, which will be the 17th of December, which will be in the next video. Let's go back up to the top. Well, there's a couple of things I'm still not sure about the rules, especially the play of some of these things when it's not applicable. Does that go back in the discard pile, or is that still used technically? I can't find anything in the rules. If I've missed it, please let me know in the comment. I hope you enjoyed that. That was to me, that was actually quite a lot of work. Fun work, don't get me wrong. I thoroughly enjoy playing it, but it does take considerable amount of time to make the video. But that's the commitment I made. So tomorrow, being the 16th, these will be released, and I will start shooting the 17th of December's videos. I should imagine that will take considerably longer due to the fact that the Germans will have all their cards. And I'll get more cards as well. So we'll just have to see how long that takes. As I say, I was trying at least getting the 16th done for the 16th. Beyond that, they could take 2 or 3 days before the 17th will be finished. I'll try, but it's how long it takes me in the evening of the 16th and during the course of the evening of the 17th if I can get them all done. Let me know in the comments. I say anything that was wrong, incorrect, foolish. Because I'm learning the game. And yeah, if you reach this far, if you could say that you enjoyed the video by, doing what, and also letting me know again in the comments that you enjoyed it or not enjoyed it. Either way, engage, please. It all helps me and motivates me to keep going on. And yeah, until next time, play games, have fun. Bye, Internet.